Hello folks and welcome to Bards and Books. I'm Usman and this is an update for what I've been reading for the past few months, what I'm about to read for the next couple months, some plans for the channel. How you doing, Chloe? Chloe has nothing better to do today than to watch me film. Great to have you here. It's a live audience of one. Let's start with what I read. So I started, since last time, I started House of Chains and I finished House of Chains, Book 4 in Malazan Book of the Fallen. This is one of my favorites so far. I've been enjoying my ride with Malazan very, very much. This was a nice change of pace. You know, I have a full review for this, so I don't know why I'm going into detail, but I enjoyed it a lot. I have a spoiler-filled review that's been posted, so you can check that out if you want to hear my full thoughts, but it was great, and I can't wait to continue. There is a live chat for House of Chains coming up with me and the gang who have been reading Malazan since the beginning. I'll keep you posted for when that is. I'll definitely update you and provide a link when I have one. So that was House of Chains. Next, I finished The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. So, this consisted of Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. This was really fun. This was my first classic. This is a beautiful book I got here. This translation is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. This was great too. I absolutely enjoyed my time here. The language is of an older style, but it was very, very fun, you know, reading these passages multiple times, interpreting it in the way that made the most sense, interpreting it in multiple ways, and kind of having fun playing around there. But he really holds this man in high regard, Dante. At the end, he provided his own little poem, you know, his tribute to Dante, so that was very touching as well. But we do heavily explore Christianity here. We explore each realm, you know, hell and then purgatory and then heaven, essentially. So it was very interesting following Dante on this journey and meeting all these historical figures and just seeing the vices that they struggle with, the desires, you know, the sins they may have committed, and how they redeem themselves. So, truly a beautiful work here. My first classic, and I'll definitely be getting to a lot more classics. Next up on my LitRPG journey, I tackled He Who Fights with Monsters, Book 1. Did this on audiobook as always, and I do have a chat coming out soon with Nick, where we discuss each book. There will be a non-spoiler and spoiler section in that chat, so look forward to that. But I can say that I did enjoy this. It was enough for me to want to continue, so I will be getting to He Who Fights with Monsters Book 2 very soon, maybe this week or next, but I'll be tackling that, and then we'll have a chat coming out for that as well. But this series is not what I expected. The protagonist is very interesting. He's got a lot of that sarcastic humor, nonchalant at the beginning, but he goes through a big journey and it gets a little dark. It's not too dark, this series, but there are some dark moments. And so while I think this is a great intro to LitRPG, it's also just a really good series the way it starts. So I would recommend this if you're into LitRPG. I mean, He Who Fights with Monsters is a pretty well-known LitRPG series, so if you thought about diving into it, then definitely give it a shot. See if it's your jam. Next up, I listened to Catch a Witch and Adrift in the Next Revolution. These were audiobooks provided by the author, E.L. Montague, and they were quick, fun reads or listens. To Catch a Witch is more on the fantasy side. It's a quick, intimate journey following this witch, and the author provides really great punches at the end, those gut punches, to cap off a short story or short story collection. So very great work in that regard. Adrift in the Next Revolution is sort of a companion to Heirs to a Flawed Creation, where that book we follow the androids' POVs and got short stories following them. This one centers on the human side of things. I found it a little more relatable. It was fun, it was different, but the universe that E.L. Montague is building here is very, very, very unique, sci-fi-ish kind of universe. It's very detailed. I appreciate all the little details you get and the machinations he's created here. And also, I finished off Demon Seed by W.D. Kilpack III. This is book 3 in the New Blood saga. If you followed my previous updates, you saw that I read book 1 and book 2, loved them very, very much. And book 3 was just as great. You know, I'm having a great time following these characters. Things are getting more expansive, a lot more characters coming into play. A cool sort of found family dynamic with them. And, you know, this series, I can safely say that it kind of reads like a very intimate Wheel of Time. It's that expansive, you know, that big on the world building, but you follow a few characters very, very closely. And Kilpack's prose is very reminiscent of Wheel of Time. It's not overly descriptive, but gives you just enough to keep you fully invested throughout the whole way. You know, the plot points get very interesting here, some dark turns we take here, and I am just very, very excited for book 4. I'll be getting to that maybe in the next few weeks. So I've ordered it already, book 4, Rilari, that will be coming up on the channel as well. Lots of nuance with these characters, lots of inner struggles. You know, we get, like I said, we get it very intimate with them, so I like following that. I like the unexpected turns that we've taken with some of the major plot points here, and the stakes are just super high. You know, they've been super high throughout since the beginning of book 1, so that tension, that sort of that investment is still there and it's still going strong. So that is a testament to Kilpack's writing. Very good book, and I can't wait for book 4. What have you been reading, Chloe? Anything exciting? I think you just wrapped up a series, didn't you? Amulet? How was that? Keep giving me the thumbs up, huh? What's next for you? You don't know? Fairy unicorns? No? How far along are you with the Fairy Unicorn series? 1 book. You've only read 1 book? So I have read more than you in the Fairy Unicorn series? I did that to myself. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point there. Okay. So, after that, the last thing I've read recently is The Exile of Zanzibar by Daniel Maidman. This was provided to me by the author quite a while ago, and I just got to it now, and man, this was absolutely amazing. I gave this 5 stars. It's very clear that Maidman has taken his time crafting this story. Very reminiscent of Malazan for me, or Malazan, in the sense that it's got a mystical sort of feel to it. He doesn't hold your hand. Subtle character moments and like relationship build up and stuff like that, and we just get hints of context here and there. It's quite an emotional journey we take here through Bronze Age Florence. It's got plenty of mystery, plenty of intrigue, interesting characters, and this is book 1, so the series is called Railroad to Zanzibar, and I am very much looking forward to book 2 whenever that is released, but I highly recommend The Exile of Zanzibar. And next are the books that I have planned for the next couple months. So we'll start off with the ones that I've spoken of previously, which I have yet to get to, but I'm making a priority. First up is A Wizard's Dream by, I'm going to butcher this again, Roje Butkovic. I'm already 100 pages into this one. It's going well. It's very, very unique. The author makes a point of giving like elements and inanimate objects more of a personality. So he'll use words like he, she, you know, for things like the wind or that kind of thing. So ties into his poetic prose pretty well. They do get a little purple at times, overly descriptive a little bit, but hello folks, just thought I'd give a quick update on my reading of A Wizard's Dream. This is going to be my first DNF on the channel. So I got a solid third of the way through, nearly 200 pages, and I am not compelled in the slightest to continue. It's got very purple prose. I mean, very, very long, drawn-out descriptions of settings, landscape, all that. Things were moving way too slow because of that. I couldn't get too invested with these characters. You know, there's so much stuff I want to read and get through, and I've decided to take this leap and be a little more open with DNFing stuff. It can be beneficial when needed, so yeah. Unfortunately, I did not finish A Wizard's Dream, and I will be moving on to other stuff. After that, I will be getting to Tempest by Thomas Botea. This is a quick sci-fi novella, which I should be able to squeeze in here no problem. And then after that is Gilded Kingdom, Seventh Born by C.J. Irvin. This was an ARC provided to me by the author, or a review copy at least, provided by the author. So I'm looking forward to this. I've talked about it already. It's political, epic fantasy. After that will be an ARC provided to me a while ago. This is Born in Fury by Moshe Winter. What I know is this is epic fantasy. Pretty dark moments in here. I think from the blurb I read that, you know, these characters go through some harrowing events, some tragedies, but I'm assuming they persevere. You know, it should be a very epic, grand journey. I think there are dragons in here as well, so yeah, looking forward to Born in Fury by Moshe Winter. After that is finally the return to First Law. So this is Best Served Cold. I'll be getting to this. I've been dying to get back to First Law ever since I've wrapped up the first trilogy. So this is long, long overdue. As it stands, First Law is my favorite series. If you watch my 2023 year-end list, First Law was #1. So as it stands, Abercrombie is my favorite author. So I don't know why it's taken me so long to get back to First Law. But I'm starting with Best Served Cold. After that, The Heroes lined up, and then Red Country, and I also picked up the short story collection, Sharp Ends. So that should be fun as well. But from everything I've heard, you know, from my enjoyment so far with First Law, I'm assuming I'm going to love this. And yeah, can't wait to talk about it when I do read it. So those are on my immediate list. Now let me just talk about some books that I've received recently and that are high priority for me. So first up is an ARC of The Fall of Selvandria by T.J. McKay. This was sent by the author. Very kind author. I did read his earlier work, Rise of Dreska, which is now combined with the first 2 or 3 books. I'm not too sure, but they are all combined, expanded upon, you know, polished up into this copy right here, which is The Fall of Selvandria. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. I did enjoy Rise of Dreska. It seemed, from what I read there, I think we can expect some very intimate character moments, some very fast-paced plot lines or action, anything like that. And yeah, Volume 1 of the Draymere Chronicle. Thank you, Tim, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to this. And then, as I already spoke about, I have Darkblade on the TBR by Andy Pelequin, as well as some of his short story collections. And then he also sent me Child of the Night Guild, Book 1 and Queen of Thieves. This is certified grimdark. Andy Pelequin and the PR Stacy were kind enough to send me this, so thank you so much. It's been high on my list. I mentioned in a previous video when I was talking about all the Darkblade books that I have that I'll be getting to this as well because I love grimdark. So I finally have it, and I'm very, very excited to get to it. It just gives me that much more of a push to read Andy Pelequin since I have so much of his work and it's just sitting there, so I need to get to it big time. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and if all goes well, I'll be reading the rest in the series as well. And lastly, I have 3 digital copies that were sent to me recently by authors. First is Kavithri by Aman J. Bedi. Next is The Halley Traveler by Mike Molman. And finally, Eyes of Empire by J.C.M. Byrne. So I'm very much looking forward to these books. Kavithri, I believe, is Indian-inspired. The Halley Traveler, Mike Molman. I've read his Protectors of Britannia series, enjoyed it a lot. This is his delving into sci-fi, so it'll be very interesting to see how that works, if it works for me. And finally, Eyes of Empire. I'm a huge Hybrid Helix fan. It made my top 5 of the list last year. It's one of my favorite series, so obviously I would have to have the arc for Eyes of Empire, and I'm very, very excited to get to that as well. There is a lot of emphasis on self-pub here, I'm aware. I do want to start making more time for the things that I've wanted to read since before even joining BookTube, so there's a lot on my list. Up next, after that at least, I will be making some time to dive into a new genre, which will be horror. So look forward to a video where I discuss a bunch of horror books inspired by a good friend here on BookTube. But that is what I have coming up, and that is it for this video. So, Chloe, you want to say anything?
Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.